Okay, welcome back, guys. So let's create some air placeholder for this. Let me just bring out my reference image. So I'm going to use my reference image, create an air placeholder for this guy. So yeah, let's get started on this. So I'm going first things first. I'm going to kind of map out or kind of block out where the hairs should be. And just get this like so. Okay, so I'm going to use the max lasso to kind of get out where the hair should be. I'm just make sure this is on symmetry. Symmetry is turned on. You should have something. I guess not. Nah, I'm doing this all wrong. Let me more or less like start from the back instead. No, that's way too down. Something like so. No, that's way too high. Maybe, maybe, just maybe something like this should be fine. Let's see how far this goes. Yeah, around here should be fine though. Maybe do something like so. Nope. Yeah, something more or less like this should be fine. Let me kind of get this to look more. I think I'll just use the pen tool and just make this feel more precise. Increase the brush size a bit more. Just carve out something more or less like this. Maybe hold out and erase some of this out. Okay. Add more of this in here. Yeah, this should be fine. It should be fine. So what I'm going to do next is to hold Alt and click on the marks to kind of sharpen the marks on the edges a bit more. There are a few ways of doing this though. I can just use the what's it called? I can use the extract tool from the sub tool palette. Take down smooth. Maybe just add very tiny smooth. Let's see what we have. I'll click extract. So right off the bat we have something like this which actually looks good enough to use though. Except for I need to erase some of the marking for the year. And take more of this. Maybe that's way too much though. Let's do that again. Okay, this seems fine, so I'll just click on accept. So since we're kind of having an invert, let me just isolate this Let's see, just the edges are being maxed out. So what I'm going to do is to, let's see if I can just do right off the bat, just do a polish for those edges. Okay, let's even polish everything down, probably a bit more. Then I'll do an inflate. I'll do an inflate. I'll do it on the negative axis just to shrink this in a bit more, like so. Should be fine. Yeah, this seems fine. I don't need to go too crazy on this. So I'll just remove the marks I have in there. Okay. Let me soften this. Let me soften this sharp edge on the nose a bit more. Let me take down this intensity of the smooth. Just soften this out. Alright. Let me dull this down a bit more. Yeah, something like this looks fine. You can kind of more or less like appreciate some of the lines, some of the sharp edges were added in there. So I think, yeah, this seems fine. Let me select the air again. Let's see what else we can adjust in here. So the smooth brush, I'll just smooth this out. Yeah, this should be fine. So let's kind of create this oh, let's create the eye. Before we move on, let's create the eyebrow. Let's create the eyebrow. Selecting this guy again. So with the max lasso, I'll just max out something like so. All the way here should be fine. Let's see what we have. So I'll use a smaller brush now and just draw this all the way to the end. Kind of eliminate some of these just to have a sharper edge at the end. Something more or less like this. Okay. Probably need a bit more in here. Let me kind of sharpen this out. Maybe extend this out a bit more like so. Alright, something like this should be fine, I guess. No, this part needs to come down a bit more. So I'm going to erase all of this. I'll kind of draw something now that comes this way. Tighten that edge a bit more. Alright. So the same repetitive process, but this time, yes, same process. So into the sub tool, I will just do think I'm going to take take down the thickness down a bit more, maybe something more or less like this should be fine. Let's see what we have. Well, let me kind of sharpen this first. So holding Alt, I'll just sharpen the edges even more. Holding Alt and clicking on the marks just to sharpen the edges a bit more. Let me check this from the side. Okay, I believe this should work just fine. So I'll just click on accept on this. No. This feels way too large. This is larger than I want it to be. Larger than I want it to be. Just way too large. Anyways, I'm going to shrink that in. So I'm going to do like a let me got let me just use the deformations tab. Let me polish the edge a bit more. Maybe even turn on this polish by groups and tick on that dot in there. I think I can shrink this a bit more, like so. Maybe do a bit more on this. Okay. Still feels way too wide though. Let's see what else we can do here. So let's do yes. Let me go out of max and shrink this inwards. Don't know why we have these jagged edges. Let's isolate this. Let's see what we have in here. We have this jagged edge. Okay. Let's just give everything one single poly group. Let's see. I have a few ideas in mind to fix this though. So let's try the first one. So let's just continue by shrinking this in. That's way too much though. Still feels a bit much. Okay. Then I'm going to isolate this. Let's see the issues we're having in here. And try to polish that out with the let's try to use the smooth and polish those not proper. Let me just use the polish creeps edge. Yeah, this is working. Polish creeps edges is working properly. So let me give this a single poly group and polish this again. Let's do polish by groups now. Okay, yeah, that seems even better. So yeah, this will be just fine. So probably be just fine for this. I can use the clip brush and just clip out that seems to be clipping off way too much. Let me turn off symmetry on this and just clip this out. Maybe I can leave it. Maybe I should just think I'll just leave it the way it is. It seems fine. I'll just leave this the way it is. Yeah, I'll just leave that the way it is. Maybe the little I'll just do is just to use the move brush and then push them back in a bit more. Something more or less like this should be just fine. Probably extend this out a bit. Okay, so that's fine. So now for this coils at the back, or these clumpings at the back, so what I'm actually going to do for that is to Okay, so what I'm going to do for that is to nothing too complicated. Let me just show you guys what I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do. So append I'm more or less going to append a let me see how that looks like. Let me get a closer look on this. Okay. So think yes, I'm going to append a cube for this. Maybe append even a plane. I think a plane should be better. Yeah, let me append a plane in here instead. Plane should be better, I guess. I guess. Anyone will work just fine though, but let's just okay. A lot of polygons in here. So let's see if we can reduce this. Probably don't need that much. Let's just do a reconstruct for this. Okay. Make sure double sided is turned on. Double side. What the hell is this double side? Display. Okay. Maybe even take this down a bit more. Now let's just leave it the way it is. I'll delete I on this. So what I'm going to do first is more or less like extend this out a bit more, like more or less like extrude this out. I think a plane would have a plane would have okay. Let me just extend. I just have a few ways of doing this, so I'm kind of a bit confused as to which particular method to use. But no worries, since we're here already, let's just carry on with this. So I'm just going to isolate this just to visualize this only. Then I'm going to like extrude this out. I'm going to here under the geometry tab. I'll go to probably let's do it with ZZ modeler brush. Let's BZM. Dynamic brush. Okay. So I'm putting this on his face. I'll go to extrude. Awkward should be fine. So on the face, I'll just extend this out more or less like so, should be fine. Yeah, this will work just fine. Then I'm just going to go back to the move brush, the back poly group. I'm just let's select the back poly group, and I'll max this, invert the selection, invert the max. Okay. So I'll just go to the top view, bring out my gizmo, make sure it's centered, and I'll just do something more or less like squash this in like so. Probably a bit more around here. Around here it should be fine. Okay. So now go out of the max. Then let me just center this again. So what I'm going to do next is to let's see, let me just shrink this down uniformly like so. More or less something like this should be fine. Okay. Then I'll just click on this set gear icon, and I'll use the bend curve, and I'll just change the axis for this. Yeah, it should be on the green axis, which is more or less like the y axis, I believe. Then I'll just do like add more holding points to this. 3 should be fine. Then I'll select this top points, and I'm going to scale this in. What is scale to? That's the squeeze. This is twist. Scale 2 should be around there. I don't know if you guys I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see if I can change this. It's more or less, I see it in here now. This is the scale 2. I'm not going to use this. This is the squeeze. I'm going to use the scale instead. So I'll just scale this inwards a bit more like so. Something more or less like this should be fine. The center part, I will scale this not so much. I still want to keep that transitional flow to it though. Maybe scale this, yeah, this a bit more like so. Just to have something that tapers. More or less something like this should be fine. Let me just push this down a bit more. Taper the edge a bit more like so. So more or less having something like this, which should be fine. So this should work. This should work just fine for what we need it for. Okay. Yes. So I'm just going to move this all the way like so. Just to have this curve down. So let me add more points to this. Okay. So I'm more or less having something like so, which should work just fine for what we need it for. I'm not supposed to make a duplicate of this. Let me just make a duplicate of this as backup. So I'm going to be using I'm going to be using this duplicate now. So let me just accept this. Accept. Maybe not yet. Maybe not yet. Let's just carry on and just use it the way it is so we can easily modify it as we go. Let me just shrink this in a bit more. And just begin to put this guy in place. So the bigger one should be like in front though. So I can now use the move brush and kind of get this roughly around here like so. Then holding control, I can kind of start duplicating this and adding this, putting this all over the place. Can use the can definitely use the move brush and then just put this in. So right now it's more or less like a repetitive process though. Let me extend this out a bit more. I probably need to do an inflate balloon for this later on, just to make it slightly a bit thicker than it is right now. Extend these guys out. So let me just use this to kind of feel this inner part a bit more. Maybe I can just use an inflate in here. Let's use the inflating here. So I'm going to be using the inflate balloon just to get something slightly thicker than the others. Maybe that's way too much though. Yeah, something more or less like this, just to kind of fill this, just more or less like fill this gap in between. I'll do another duplicate of that. Extend this outward a bit more so it goes across more or less. So this might take a while though. Just moving this and extending it out. Yes, I overstretched this out way too much than I need to. That's completely fine though. We're not really going for perfection in here. We just need to have something that gives an illusion of being an hair in there. Okay, having something already. Okay, let's see. So now control, I'll just get this to the other side. Let me see if I can polish this a bit more. Just to get this to be more, just to get that even flow without so much of a stretching around there. Okay, probably just one more should do the trick. Let me use the move brush, extend this out a bit more. Alright, so we have 5k in there. Let's go to a higher subdivision level. I think I'll just do a slight inflate for all of this. Maybe inflate balloon. Nope. maybe a tiny polish for this. Yeah, something like just to smooth out the edges a bit more. Let me select this scarp itself and push that back in. And kind of make sure I'm following that transitional flow at the edge. Okay. Alright, this should work. So what I'm going to do now is to let's just get this front. I think we can just use our duplicates. So selecting these duplicates, I will duplicate that duplicate. Yes, I said it. I'm going to duplicate that duplicate and bring that guy out of the mix. Obviously need to shrink this guy in a bit more. Rotate this like so. Bring this out of the mix. Extend this guy out like so. I think the move brush should do the rest. Let's just get this a bit more angled like so. Yeah, I think this should be fine, I guess. Yes, I think this should be fine. I think we can safely say we are maybe not. We not say anything yet. So selecting this guy, let me delete that higher poly count. So do delete higher for this because I'm kind of merge this down. Let me merge this down to its other counterparts. Before I do that, let me just do a let's just do a tiny polish for this. I'm on the right guy. Is that okay? Just a tiny polish for this. Yeah, something like that should be cool. Okay, so now we can do a merge down. We can do a merge down. So I'll just do a merge down for this. So we merge down to the other piece now. Then we can safely Control D on this. Alright, that seems fine. Okay. Let me just put this guy here like so. And give this other part a bit of a brighter tone. So I'm not going to do Shift R on this. Let's see what we have. Colors are a bit blown out though. Okay. Right. So let me just do this with the blink material turned on. Okay, this looks nice. Maybe I can just merge everything that has to do with the hair together to themselves with the eyebrow. Yeah, let me do just that. So I'm going to merge this down also. So I'm going to merge this down to the hair. So everything that has to do with the hair, I'm just going to merge them down. So these are the eyebrows. So the scalp, just do a merge down for this. Okay, then I'll mark all of those out. Okay, this is everything. This is everything. Okay, so let me just zoom out a bit. Shift R on this. So we're having something more or less like so. Let's use a different shader. Let's see what this gives us. Nah. Okay. Though it feels like we can still do some more corrections to this, but I think I kind of like how the final result is. I think I'm liking this already. I don't think I'll need to do any extra extreme corrections in here. Maybe just get this out. Yeah, something like this should be fine. Let me see, I can extend this out. Kind of exaggerate that a bit more. Yeah, something like this should be fine. But the idea is that you have control over this to kind of manipulate this however way you want and make this feel as weird as you want it to be. That's completely fine. That's completely up to you. But I'm guessing this should be completely fine for me. Okay, yeah, I think I saw something for the nose. I can see a block out in here for the nose. So let's see if we can use I'll just use the move brush and just kind of do that instead. Just extend this out a bit more. Kind of more or less like to have like a diamond shape around there. Yeah, something like this. So all these minor corrections is something you can do on your own if you want to make it feel slightly more interesting than it is right now. That's completely up to you. You have the you have the leverage to kind of go in there and then make this design yours as much as you possibly can. That's completely fine. I already have a good result in here already that I can call done, at least for a stylized face. So let me just do a duplicate for it for this around. So I'm just going to use Shift S and just do a duplicate like so. It should more or less be facing this angle. Let me just extend this out a bit more. Shift S again. Yeah, something more or less like this should be fine. I don't know if I'll I don't know if I'll be I don't know if I'll be adding textures to this. The main concept of this is to kind of create a stylized character out of this, which we have pretty much done. So let me just do a quick save for this file. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next lesson.